Congratulations to both Drew Goddard and Joss Whedon for having successfully murdering the horror movie genre to insane and bloody little pulps. And let me tell you, if there are any people that are willing to pick up those pieces and try anything with them after this movie, they are dead wrong. I have been anticipating The Cabin in the Woods way before any posters, trailers, or anything have released. I have been waiting all the way back in 2010 for when this movie was supposed to release from MGM. But due to their bankruptcy fiasco and also favoring the James Bond franchise and The Hobbit to be released before any other movies that they did have on their lineup, it ended up being shelved for a while, and then it was picked up by Lionsgate, and thank God for them doing this because this movie is a true cinematic sensation. And also I was able to attend a screening for this movie that was put on by slashfilm.com with the movie's partners, of course, in which there was a Q&A afterwards with the film's lead star, Kristen, Connolly, in which I got to learn about the pre-production, actual production, and post-production of the film in relation to the filming, editing, and the build-up to it, to preparing for the roles in particular. And also, got this little free shirt right here. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it before, for other people that reviewed it as well. And let me tell you, I feel great enough wearing this right now because it's going to add on to the authenticity of this review in the best ways possible. The movie starts out just as many other horror movies that you've seen start out before, which you have 5 friends that pack up to go on a vacation up to this cabin in the middle of the woods, also set along a mountainous backdrop in the middle of the forest as well, in which they all end up packing in, and soon things go wrong. You think you may know the story like the film's tagline says, but you certainly do not, because this is one of the most surprising, energizing, enthralling movie experiences that I've had in such a long time, and it is one that certainly has the ability to completely kill the horror movie genre as it is today. All the actors in this movie do an incredible job with the self-aware capabilities of playing their characters to the right potential, and just about all of them embody the aspects of these intentionally archetypical characters from the very beginning, and you actually find yourselves almost from the very beginning rooting for them and wanting them to survive throughout. However, my favorite from the group of 5 without a doubt was Kranz as the stoner of the group, and what I really liked about his character in particular was that he just wasn't a stereotype of being the typical comic relief stoner of the group. He had a lot more multiple layers to his character than I'd ever thought that he would embody, and that ends up fulfilling his perfect comedic timing throughout the film as well. But the two standouts without a doubt are Bradley Whitford and Richard Jenkins as these office corporation type people, which that's really all I can give away for their roles because they have a lot more depth to them than you initially perceive them to be from the trailers or promotion if you've seen any of it already. And they both had me laughing throughout the movie. They had terrific chemistry alongside each other, and their comic timing was just perfect throughout. However, as many winners that there are from this movie, whether it comes from the acting or technicality or anything else from this movie, it is the script that's constructed by Drew Goddard and Joss Whedon. They managed to write this script in a surprising 3 days, and they managed to compile nearly every single horror movie cliche and trope that you have come to see from the genre in the past years before, and they take all of them and flip a complete 180 on just about all of them, whether it's in the first third where they parody them, the second third when they pay homage to them, and then the last third where they literally pull out all the stops with no rules and they just come up with as many as insane aspects that they can throw into the movie's insanely entertaining climax that there is, and they just embody all these aspects into what is truly genius, clever writing. Also, for a directorial debut, Drew Goddard does a phenomenal job. He manages to frame a lot of his shots in spot-on fashion in terms of homage to a lot of tropes that you come to expect in horror movies. And also, in addition, he adds on a very fast pacing throughout, and the way he builds up to all of the twists and turns and many hidden secrets that are hidden throughout the movie, it is just perfect of how he can shift his tone from being scary to one second, and then you're laughing from something hilarious the next. The way he compiles all those together is just mind-blowing. Also, the ending to this movie is truly one for the ages in the horror movie genre, but also movies as a whole for how they are today, in which the last image in particular that you see in this film, its symbolism bodied within it, serves as the perfect allegory to where does the horror movie genre go now, because the way that it ends and with all the insane twists and turns that this movie takes, you really start to ask yourself, where does it go now? Like, is it dead? Does it barely have anything left? Is it just gonna limp to the finish line no matter how long it's gonna take for it to get to that point? Just where does it go? Like, I don't even know where it's gonna go after this. The movie is that cleverly genius. Overall, The Cabin in the Woods is, as a lot of people have said, the horror movie to end all horror movies. And it's definitely gonna be the scream of this generation for adding on a lot of genius innovation to the genre as a whole. But it's really gonna be interesting for where it goes afterwards, because this movie is one insane, bloody, scary, hilarious, suspense, and highly, highly entertaining trip throughout. I absolutely love this movie from the very beginning. It never had one dull moment. It entertained me from start to finish in the absolute best ways, and I have constantly thought about any nitpickets that I could give it, but really, the more I thought about it, there's really nothing. This is about as perfection as horror movies can come today, and that's why I'm gonna give The Cabin in the Woods 5 stars. I freaking loved this film. So I hope you enjoyed my review of The Cabin in the Woods. I'd also like to point out that I filmed a video reaction for one of the representatives of SlashFilm.com that was there at the screening, and also interviewing Kristen Connolly at the Q&A session. I will let all you guys know on either my Facebook or Twitter accounts if you follow any of those. I'll let all you know once that's up if I did make the cut into the montage or whatever. So in the meantime, I'm Tyler from CaliCritic Reviews, and I'll see you guys later. Make sure you do yourself the favor of seeing this movie, especially if you are a huge horror buff or cinephile in general, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.